What's up, everybody? It's Corey, host of the Grease Pole Podcast, back with another weekly Eagles mock. We said we were going to do these every week. I believe between this one, which is 2.0, and the last one, which was 1.0, I believe it's been about 10 days. But sometimes life gets in the way. Things happen. You got to replace a water heater. Shit gets in the way. So Chauncey Gardner-Johnson drama has now been resolved. So I had a certain mock that I wanted to do here for 2.0, but I'm going to bump that one back to 3.0. I wanted to do an exercise here because after the Chauncey Gardner-Johnson trade, I started noticing Brian Branch appear a lot. And I love Brian Branch, but I think 10's a little too rich for him, and I also don't think there's any way in hell it's going to happen. So this mock is inspired by life after Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. So before we get into it, hit that subscribe button and hit the link above as well if you want to check out our NFL Draft playlist, which is going to continue to grow as we get closer and closer to April 27th. So with all that being said, the Birds are on the clock with the 10th overall pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, where they select Brian Branch, safety out of Alabama. And look, even before the departure of Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, Branch was pretty high on my board. There's something about the safety position. I know it's not the most valuable in terms of pure positional value these days, but growing up watching Brian Dawkins and even guys elsewhere like Ed Reed and Troy Polamalu, it feels like a defense hits different. There's a different vibe when you've got that enforcer on the back end, and that's exactly what Branch is. You love the versatility. He can play the slot in the box or patrol center field. He's effective downhill. He's a strong tackler, which is obviously crucial at safety. He can cover. He can break on the ball with anticipation. He was a Nick Saban favorite, which is saying something as well, and that Saban specialty is secondary. Incredibly instinctive, high football IQ. He'd thrive in new defensive coordinator Sean Desai's defense. But again, all that said, I think Branch at 10 is unlikely. I think if Howie's able to find a trade partner and move back a little bit and acquire some extra picks, that's something he'd do, and then maybe you entertain it there. Maybe one of the four QBs falls a little bit and say Tampa at 19 is looking to move up. Branch would make more sense there, but I think there's better value at 10 than Branch, but I'd get the pick if it did happen with both starting safeties departing via free agency. It's Reed Blankenship season, people. Love that guy. 30th pick in the 2023 NFL Draft. The Philadelphia Eagles select Steve Avila, guard, TCU. And I don't expect this exact pick to happen on April 27th, but it's not impossible either, given Howie's understanding of the value of the trenches. And while I haven't seen anyone have Avila go in the first round to this point, if this happens, I'd be kind of fucking stoked. He's got impressive agility for a guy that's 6'4", 330. He's excellent in pass pro. Didn't allow a single sack in 2022, and once he anchors down, it's a wrap. It's over. He can get on the move in the running game as well. He's not as agile as a Joe Tippmann out of Wisconsin, and I love both guys, but Avila is more of a guard, whereas Tippmann is more of a center. And you got to remember that Cam Jurgens was drafted in the second round last year as the heir to Jason Kelce at center. Without that pick, I'm absolutely entertaining going Tippmann here, but with even the possibility of Jurgens playing guard with the departure of Isaac Seumalo, I like Avila to step in and keep the O-line atop the NFL. Moving on to the second round, night 2, with the 62nd pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, the Philadelphia Eagles select Keyshawn Booty, wide receiver out of LSU. And he was once viewed as a first-rounder. Booty had a down year statistically in 2022. Had a weird year, but the talent alone makes him a potential steal at this spot. He's a nice athlete that's got good speed and explosiveness, but he's not really a burner, right? He ran the 40 and 4.5 flat, 5'11", 195. He's got good size for primarily a slot receiver that can also line up on the outside if you need him to. He can go vertical, run solid routes, doesn't get lazy on him. One of my favorite things about him is he's a willing and capable blocker in the running game, which fits right in with A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, who are the same way. A wide receiver 3 isn't super necessary, but it would be a welcome addition to the offense and also serving is a safeguard against potential injury to A.J. Brown and or Devontae Smith. So if you're looking at receivers here, there's several guys you could go with, but I opted for Boutte because of the potential. 94th pick. We're into the third round of the 2023 NFL Draft, where the Philadelphia Eagles select Carl Brooks, defensive tackle out of Bowling Green. You can expect the defensive tackle position to be addressed at some point in this draft after Javon Hargrave signed with San Francisco. Brooks also played on the edge at Bowling Green, so you've got that versatility, although he'll likely play on the interior at the NFL level predominantly. He didn't get an invite to the Combine, but he had a nice showing at the Senior Bowl. 6'3", 303 pounds. He already comes equipped. He's already got an NFL build. Very solid, very stout. He plays with hustle. Nice leverage for his frame. He's got a good bull rush and not only collapse the pocket, but close in on a quarterback that's escaping the pocket. He's good at shedding blocks, and if he gets cut, he can recover quickly. You'll notice the speed and that he can chase guys down from behind. He likely won't be used as a three-down guy, considering the Eagles always tend to rotate along the defensive line. But Brooks is definitely capable of being an effective three-down player in the NFL, and he's among my favorite players in this draft. If defensive tackle isn't addressed by this point, Brooks would absolutely be a hell of a pick. 7th round, 219th pick in the 2023 NFL Draft. The Philadelphia Eagles select Cedric Dennis, linebacker out of Pitt. Howie doesn't typically place a ton of value at linebacker, but you're still down a starter after losing Kazir White. I don't know that Dennis makes it this far on draft weekend, but he'll definitely be a quality day 3 pick. He played quarterback and was also a DB in high school, so you've got that athleticism at the linebacker position. He was a 3-year starter at Pitt who can read and react quickly and then close with urgency, and that's where you see that speed come into play. He's very disciplined. He doesn't stray from his assignment, and he's a sure tackler that follows through. Great in pursuit as well. He's a guy that you can easily see being a special teams contributor early on in his career as he learns the nuances that you need to learn at the NFL level. You know, things like how to shed blocks and add some bulk to his frame. He's currently weighing in at around 235 to 240 pounds. It's a little light, but I love the upside here in the 7th round with Cedric Dennis. 7th round, 248th pick in the 2023 NFL Draft. The Philadelphia Eagles select Kavon Meriwether, safety out of Iowa. Look, since the theme here is both starting safeties from last year departing via free agency, just why not bookend this mock with another safety in Meriwether, who provides great value here in the 7th round. 6 foot, 205. He's got good size. He's an awesome athlete. Former point guard in high school. He's quick. He ran a 4.62 at the Combine. He has great body control, plays a very physical style, and isn't afraid to do that dirty work in the running game and use that speed to come up and make a stop for you. He's a very good tackler, especially when he's coming downhill. And Meriwether's another guy who I'm surprised doesn't seem to be valued a little higher in this draft than he appears to be. He's another guy that at the minimum will be a stud on special teams and has the skills and potential to either end up as a rotational guy or a starter if necessary. Think Reed Blankenship, whose era is now officially begun in Philly. So that concludes our second weekly Eagles mock of the season, and we'll look to drop the third in a couple of days to make up for 2.0 here coming out a bit late. I'm playing into the playing a bit into the fact that both starting safeties are elsewhere now after all the Chauncey Gardner-Johnson drama. This felt like it'd be a fun exercise just to see if you do go safety there at 10, which would obviously be Brian Branch, what you're sacrificing across the board. Although I still like what we came away with this haul here. Again, I don't think Branch will ultimately be the pick at 10 unless, of course, Howie does find that trade partner and moves back a little bit in the first round. I can see a Peter Skoronski being more likely here than a Brian Branch, knowing the value that Howie Roseman places on certain positions. What are your thoughts on the mock? What do you think of the picks? Let us know in the comments section if you've done any mocks. Feel free to share the results as we dive head on into NFL draft talk here on the channel and on the pod as well. So if you're also draft obsessed, drop a like and make sure to hit that subscribe button as we look forward to bringing you tons of content on the upcoming draft, as well as weekly Eagles mock drafts to get a bunch of different looks at how draft weekend could unfold. We'll see you next time. As always, go Birds.